This is the Doctor, continuing the Battle Brothers playthrough. There is a dungeon to the southeast, although by southeast, that could be quite a whiles away, or it could be very close. I don't know, and I'm not super interested in going to those camps at this point in the game anyway. So I'm going to go back to Finster Wheeler and get that contract for the 30 axe encampment. I am pretty sure the way the game works is it will re-roll the enemies to be more suitable to my experience level. I won't have to fight that bandit leader. Yeah, I can't beat a bandit leader right now. So hopefully it'll re-roll to fairly easy enemies. And then I need to look out for some ranged characters to complement my band of men here. Ranged character is very strong against many enemy types. So there are some tracks in the forest, we gotta watch out. There was that band of brigands wandering about the woods. Okay, some brigand raiders. Not what I want to fight at this point in the game, but it may be unavoidable. Five brigand raiders. It's like 9 brigand raiders. That's not beatable. I could actually escape from this bunch, I feel like. So 5 of them we could potentially beat. What's this spear? 6 fatigue, 20. They're both the same. This one has lower lows but higher highs. It's also slightly more effective against armor. Sure, the ancient spear is probably fine. We have a lot of spears. Which is okay. We might expect to lose some brothers doing this, but I think it's worth the risk. Some brigand raiders. We could beat that. I mean, I'm not super in love with fighting brigand raiders at this point in the game, but they're not unbeatable. Let me think. We have to be very careful about positioning here. Boulder, tree, brush, tree. Ideally, we maneuver into terrain where like 3 of us can gang up on one of them. That's how you beat them. How can this be accomplished? This tree is a natural choke point. We could maneuver ourselves into this brush. They would have to move here and here. In this position, we can get 2 men on them. And then we could use another brother here on the high ground to so if I go back here, spear wall, and then do this, they're coming here, then we run up and gang up on them. We can hide behind these trees, wait for them to come in, and then sort of surprise flank them. That's not a bad idea. I want to see how they're moving first. So we're gonna pass the bunch. I want to see how they move. Okay. Of all the enemies, this guy with the pike is by far the most dangerous. Unless there are several of them with pikes. But on the other hand, looting a pike would be huge if we can accomplish that. We should send our pikemen over here. And crossbows could potentially do a lot of work against that guy. Spear walls don't work against pikemen, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to start repositioning. if he has a pikeman, we need to lure him into sort of the semi-open area. We've got to be very careful about not letting the pikeman get the high ground on us. So we're going to move back like this. Okay, there's a guy with a mace. That's going to be a problem. Okay, there's a guy with a flail, but he has no head armor. This is the weak link here. The guy with the axe and the guy with the mace, not super dangerous. This guy with the two-handed axe, we can also beat pretty easily. Just let him come to us. Pass. First in 1, 2, 3. Hold a little bit. Definitely want to start getting some shots off. Although at 9%, maybe we can wait a little longer. Close ranks. Alright, I want to see how the brigands move. Alright, this guy with the flail moves up 2. This is good. These raiders can't do much. We should get 2 rounds of shots off on them. We're obviously going to have to run up and rush this guy. This is fantastic that he switched weapons. Switching weapons is 4 HP and he has a two-handed axe. He actually can't attack the next turn when he switches. This guy's made like a huge mistake. We got him. We got him. So it's this band of 4, including the guy with the pike, who we have to be extremely careful about. We're gonna hold some more. Let's start attacking. $57, but we miss. The more we can buy time here, the better. 74 miss. I don't think we need to adrenaline him. So let's... If I don't spear wall here, this guy comes up. But that's not such a bad thing. Because we want to get at the brigand raider with the spear. The guy with the mace, I'm not too worried about. He might go 3 up like this, which I would find acceptable. So I'm not going to shield wall you, or spear wall you. But I am going to spear wall Albert. And I am going to spear wall Karsten. And this protects sort of the middle line here. Yes, that exposed the guy with the pike. Yep, as anticipated, he can't move. He can't attack the turn he switches weapons. That's fantastic. I want to shoot the guy with the pike, but the guy with the flail is also a great target. Injured shoulder, very nice. So there's a guy here with the pike who is by far the most dangerous enemy of the bunch. I want to try to stun him. Eldebert. I have a feeling Aldebert's going to get attacked a lot, but we can pass a little bit. I can do this, but Karsten's going to get annihilated. I only have 2 brothers against the guy with pike. We can hold a bit. Okay, Thorsman. He can't move up to engage the guy with the pike. The guy with the pike would one-shot him. And he's actually valuable because of his iron lung trait. We have no choice but to attack this raider here. Which of course we miss, because why not? 44% chance. What's my defenses like? Not great. But I feel like we just need to do damage right now. Yo, Bard, his defense is also not great. But again, I feel like we just need to land some hits. Let's try to knock this guy out. No such luck, of course not. So now I have to think about positioning. This guy is likely to run up. We could run Carson up, but I feel that would be supremely dangerous. We could shield wall Elbert. And we can shield wall Karsten. That means this Brigand Raider is likely to attack Torkel, who can take a hit or two. And then next turn we unleash some attacks. Like, the way to beat his armor and his helm aren't bad. Just like stabbing him once is not likely to do much. And it exposes me to massive counterattack next turn. Whereas if I shield wall up some, and I can shield wall in the back here, it actually provides +5 defense to both. We can see what they do. Yeah. Okay, good. Now we have a chance of impaling this guy with the flail. Perfect. That's exactly what we needed. That was probably a headshot, right? Yeah. Exactly what we needed. Cause some morale problems among the remaining brigands. Well, this guy's gonna suck. Whew! I don't know how they missed. Good. Yes. Shield wall yourself, brigand. I'm missing some 75s myself. That's quite alright. Let's just unleash hell on this raider here. Yep. He's in some trouble now. We can't actually move up to shoot this brigand because the pike would one-shot me, potentially. Like if it hit in the head, and pikes have a bonus to that. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna probably shoot this brigand, but we're gonna need to wait just a little bit before doing that. This seems like a good time to use adrenaline in case we miss again, which of course we do. Oh, okay. Guess we didn't need adrenaline. Now the one bad thing about this is these trees is it'll take me some time to come around the flanks here. Obviously we move up like this, causing some more morale problems, which is fantastic. Yes, let's try to kill. Now is the time for us to unleash hell on this brigand. Try to stun. Good, he's stunned. This is phenomenal. Now we can move up and shoot him. And we can move up and stab him. Yes. What's he suffering? Pierced arm muscles? So he has got a big penalty right now to attack. Unfortunately, we have to like go around, which is not practical. I mean, he's technically stunned, but he's also by far the most dangerous, so I need to keep attacking him. I'm gonna back up a bit, just in case. I feel like it's worth going all out to try to kill him. Yes, good. Because of how dangerous that brigand is. Perfect, perfect. I could not have asked for better results. Pierce leg muscles, and he's dead. There's only one brigand left, and he's fleeing. Yes. Oh, the flail doesn't do much here. Albert. I want to surround. I want to try to loot his armor. Run them down, of course. Ode. Torlif has a dagger. Who else has a dagger? Kerberos does not have a dagger. I don't seem to have a lot of daggers here. Erwin has a dagger, right? Yeah. Okay. Brett does not have a dagger. Wolfram has a dagger. And Torko does not have a dagger. This is going to be a little tedious, but it's worth the effort to get that armor. Good. Erwin the Savage. Shouldn't take too long before I kill him. Get the armor. Almost. Almost. Perfect. And we managed to loot the armor. It's a 90 defense armor, unfortunately. But we got quite a few nice helms. We got a flail, we got a hand axe, we got a mace, we got a pike. I mean, this could not be a more useful fight early game. And there's a prisoner. Sure, you can join us. Yes, let's find a weapon for you. Who's our newest brother? It's a refugee. He has no resolve. But my gosh, he has 3 stars in range. He also has no health. This character, we need an archer, and this character could certainly be an archer. It's just his stat distribution is really interesting. He can't get hit. Like, if he gets hit, he dies. But if we're gonna like swap weapons here, the short bow goes much better on a character with an actual bow. But Bertram the Derelict, he has no resolve, which is less of a problem for Archer, but still kind of a problem. Might want to up that a bit. He actually has shockingly good melee attack. Superstitious is not great. This guy's going to break at the first sign of trouble. But 3 stars in range means he could roll. I think range is 2 to 4, so he could roll 5s. He's going to roll 4s or 5s. So assuming it's an average of 4.5, 10 levels will get him to 45 plus 42. On average, he should get about 87 range, which is actually good. Like 87 is pretty good. If you can give over 90, that's phenomenal, but 87 we could definitely work with. This character could be one of our best archers. I've never had a refugee background be a decent archer, but this guy could be. I like it. Let's repair all this stuff. And let's equip some of the better helms right away. Karsten, yes, Karsten can use a better helm. Torliff could use a better helm. Man, we're just handing out helms all over the place, aren't we? Okay, how is the state of our men? Surprisingly okay for that fight. I don't think we actually took many hits at all. Did we even take a single hit? Some of this armor was already damaged. We may not have taken a single point of damage. And then there's these 5 brigands. Again, another 5. Do we want to press our luck? I definitely don't mind fighting more brigands, but I don't want to do it in the forests. Forests, I feel like, aren't necessarily great for us. We do outnumber them by 2 to 1. We could move out into the open and then attack them. And we have some more level on some of our men here. Gun trim, yes, range defense, range skill. Some more initiative is welcome. As the second perk with these initiative-based characters, I love taking dodge. On an archer, it can really help your defenses against enemy archers. It's 15% of the current initiative as a bonus to melee and range defense. That melee defense could even come into play potentially, but the range defense, 15%, you can see. Well, so it's not always going to be 15% of 102. That would be around 12, which is a huge boost. But if you're using a short bow like this, and you're using a lot of quick shots, because your initiative actually depends on fatigue. If you get fatigue, your initiative will plummet, and you don't get quite as much bonus, but it's still really good. I feel like it's well worth taking on your archers to keep them alive from counter fire. Torkel, definitely melee skill, definitely melee defense. This is a case where the mineral of the fatigue again, but we do need some fatigue on him. However, +3 range defense, also very good. I don't think I can pass that up. Now what to take on the two-hander builds. None of these look super appealing. Executioner not necessarily bad, it just doesn't work against the undead. Same with crippling strike, like these are pretty okay. Two-hander though, you do so much damage, usually you don't need crippling strike. Holdout. No morale check when nearby allies panic and flee. That's not terrible. If this perk like prevented the morale drop when enemies rush you, this would be really good, but it doesn't do that. Steel Brow can actually be quite good. Prevents you from taking critical damage when you get hit in the head, but I usually do not find it to be a problem on my two-handers. You don't really need this. Quick Hands has some potential, but again, not really necessary. Gifted used to be like auto pick for me for pretty much everyone, but now that you have veteran levels where after level 11 your characters can still gain some levels and you only get like +1 to 3 stats, which isn't a lot, but on the other hand, you can just keep leveling and get additional bonuses. So gifted really, plus it's been nerfed. The amount of points you get is significantly less now. You could always take Pathfinder to save some fatigue. We could also go with Student to get a bit faster level up. After we've gotten Colossus to help survive, because next what I want is Brawny, and then something like Sword Mastery, Underdog, Reach Advantage, and Battle Forge. Once you get that combination, your character is good enough to do two-handed build. You also want Recover eventually, but you don't really need Recover early game. So maybe we can take Student now just to go a little faster. Why not? Because none of the other perks really look that appealing. The only thing is like Adrenaline has some uses, Pathfinder, but Torgal doesn't have enough fatigue to use Adrenaline very well right now. So let's just go with Student. Road, he's quite a disposable character. I'll come back to him. There's been the Gambler. I said we were going to make our Sergeant, right? None of the other characters even has a reasonable shot at being a Sergeant. Well, maybe this guy. Nah, he's not going to be good enough. Thorsman at least has good starting resolve. So if we're going to make him a Sergeant, Resolve is a no-brainer pick. Then it gets interesting. I've never tried a Sergeant who's also like a semi-archer, because if you have... You can give him a crossbow. Or a throwing weapon. If he's not using his pike, he could use a crossbow. Use quick hands to switch between the battle standard versus something like a pike. We can have a crossbow, bolt, maybe a dagger. Maybe a really weird build. Wouldn't really make too much sense, but... So if this character is going to be a Sergeant, Resolve is an auto pick on every single level, pretty much no matter what. Then the question is, what else do I do with him? He's not got great melee, and if he's holding the battle standard to rally, he's not using his melee. He's got, you know, potential in range. It's just he's never going to be good enough with ranged weapons to really use more than a crossbow. He's never going to use a bow, which is okay. Crossbow is also a very good weapon. He's got like 12 starting range defense is actually phenomenal. I mean, he's probably going to get anticipation at some point. We could always up a bit more initiative to take advantage of... You know, you do want to go first with a Sergeant for rally. A bit more defenses are not out of the question. But I really like the idea of making this guy into a crossbow or a throwing weapon user. I don't have either right now. But let's do that. Let's make a Sergeant who has quick hands, so he'll swap between the battle standard and like a crossbow or a throwing weapon. I haven't decided on that yet. And if he's going to do that, that'll synergize with his Iron Lungs. So if he's going to do that, initiative makes a lot of sense. We don't need too much initiative. But we could use a bit more health. Right. Like, this is a min roll for initiative. Well, we could also use a bit more fatigue. His health is actually okay. I wouldn't expect him to be attacked all that much. But a bit more fatigue would not be out of place here. Yes, let's do that. So on sergeants, adrenaline can be good, but I really like picking student because you need fortified mind, you need rally the troops to get to a sergeant. So, and then on this character, I also want to pick quick hands really quick. These are the perks I want. The perks in the first tree, none of them are really that important. So let's go with student. I'm gonna rename him. Your character gets the sergeant title, so he shouldn't get that. Let's name him the corporal, because he's an NCO who's not quite promoted to sergeant yet. Urborough here, his path is clear. He's going to take hits for us, and he's probably going to die after taking hits for us. So we'll up hit points. We'll give him a bit better melee attack. He needs some resolve so he doesn't die horribly. I mean, he doesn't like run away. What else do I even bother getting him? What do I get on my expendable characters? Colossus isn't bad to help tank a bit, but fast adaptation also isn't bad. On a throwaway character, some extra hits don't hurt. I really like fast adaptation, but that might just be me. Oh man, a flail? Yes, yes. Look at that. Alright, that's a ton of rambling. What I'm going to do next in the last part of this video is maneuver myself into open ground, and then we're going to fight these brigands, and we're going to loot their stuff. And a fun time will be had by me. The brigands are still coming. I don't want to fight them in the forest. Forest is very bad. Alright, brigands, come out, come out. So, in the next video, we're going to fight these brigands. Thank you for watching. Until next time.